Ready for Revolution. This is your brother and friend, Brother Eric Ture Muhammad. Didn't mean to advance to the screen, but we're going to discuss it just the same. So take a screenshot of what we're going to have happening, what's happening in Tampa, Florida this weekend with Blockchain Summit. We're coming to Tampa, Florida. We're going to join those golden billionaires, Dr. Elaine Lee, and we're going to be at the Hyatt House, Tampa Airport in West Shore, the gathering room, folks. We're going to be there. That's 5308 Avion Park Drive, Tampa, Florida. 33607 is the zip. And as we zip into Tampa, the question behooves you. Who do you know in the Florida areas? Who do you know in Central Florida, South Florida? Who do you know in Northern Florida? Who do you know throughout the state? Who do you know in Georgia? You want to drive everybody to the opportunity and allow the opportunity to represent you on your behalf. Make sense, folks? Thank you for attending another edition of I'm Rich, the podcast with your brother, Brother Eric Ture Muhammad. We're here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, there are occasions where you'll find us with guests who will present. And there are other occasions where you find a discussion and summary where we'll be engaged in the chat room like we're going to do today. And there are other occasions where you have video clips to explore or different events that we will simulcast live just so that you have a feel for what it is and where we're going. Now, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to share with you why we're here, what this discussion is about. Got to put on the glasses to do it, right? So look, I sent out a message to the team, sent it out in message to make people aware. On the I Am Rich, the podcast with Brother Eric Ture Muhammad, we will explore the requirements of freedom. We're here to explore the requirements of freedom from the perspective of building wealth, from the perspective of the wealthy. Focus and self-control are musts in the journey. But what I want you to remember is what I'm about to share with you now. Anything you fight to get, you might want to write this down. Anything you fight to get, you're going to have to fight to keep. Anything that you fight to get, you're going to have to fight to keep. That means whatever it is that you push for, situate yourself for, is something that you intend to have. It's something you intend to possess. But in this world, it's volatile with distractions. It's volatile with opposition. It's volatile with competition. So you want to position yourself always to fight in order to keep. Now, type in the chat, everyone, focus. Focus, Focus. Focus. Now, how is focus developed? Focus is developed by something so simple. It's called a decision. Focus is developed through decisions. What decisions are you making for yourselves to align yourself with what it is that you desire? One of the greatest teachers that I've come across in my lifetime is a gentleman named Bob Proctor. Okay, and Bob Proctor passed a few years ago, but this is something that was very dear to him about our understanding of focus and intention. I recall him saying, wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. Wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. And there's no rocket science to that. It's just a law. And you can see it in all your activities throughout your life. Have you ever wanted to attend an event and you want to have the best dress or the best shoes or you want to have your hair done? Well, your focus dictated your activity. The focus went and the energy towards that thing you desired happened. So you find yourself with your hairdo, you find yourself with your clothes, you find yourself with the shoes, your accessories, and you attend the function that you're looking to do. How about that woman you pursued, you really are attracted to her, and you're hoping that she'll accept your petition for a date. Well, if you're focused on it, your energies went towards it. It may not turn out the way you wanted, I don't know. But your focus prepped you for results. You made sure that your breath was fresh. You made sure you were well groomed. You made sure of the things that you felt would keep her attention on you. You did those things. You might have done like we used to do growing up. Growing up in my era, you had love songs, and your love songs were your letters, and you would copy the love song and put Dear Ann, and you'll write something for the love song, and you sign your name to it, and you leave the letter for, or you might have given it to her in school or in passing, what have you, hoping that it would do something for you. Y'all remember seeing these things on television, or you might have experienced it yourself? Will you be my girlfriend? A checkbox for yes, a checkbox for no. Any of you ever experienced that or received any of that? Well, in my case, I'm going to share with you a little side story here. The young lady was older than me. I think I was maybe 13, and she might have been 18, 19 years old. And I wanted this letter written to her. I didn't know how to write. So I got one of my brothers to write it for me. And it was the lyrics to a song by the OJs called Brandy. Now, I didn't have no fireplace, but it's opened up, sitting at an open fireplace in my favorite dungarees, talking about a melody that sounded so sweet to me. Well, I had him write those lyrics for me, and then I signed it. I could do that, something like he wrote at the end of it, just thinking about you. Do you ever think about me? And then my name, Eric. It wasn't that thing. I wasn't in that love Eric thing, but I remember putting my name, Eric. Okay. So sealed it up, put the girl's name on the front of it. I don't remember her name, but gave it to her. Never heard a word. After a while, I got past it. But one day I'm watching Soul Train, the music show that came on every Saturday morning. And there's the host, may God be pleased, the great Don Cornelius. And he's interviewing the OJs who are about to sing their songs. And then he asked them a question. What are one of your favorite songs? And they looked at each other, and by far they said Brandy. I was like, wow, Brandy, that's the one I chose, right? And I found out on that show that the song was about him losing his dog. I had no context. Yeah, man, I lost my dog, and they started talking about it. And I said, no wonder she didn't respond to me. She probably knew what the song's about. I don't know. But context, right? Wherever you focus, there goes your energy. There goes your energy, right? So from the perspective of the wealthy, there are a couple of notes that I wrote that I just want to share with you. Now, I'm not here to prove to you my wealth, its accumulation, and how it's benefited me. My role and goal with this conversation is just to show you that it is possible for everybody to do. I want to show you from the Wealth Builders global perspective. There are two things that we master, and those two things we share with everyone to do. Everyone type in your chat, type pay yourself first. Oh no, type pay myself first, because we're talking about you doing for you. Pay myself first. Okay? Now I want you to see something. The power of exercising that right to pay ourselves first are vital. Because when we pay ourselves first, When I pay myself first, what have I done? I've rewarded me with a portion of whatever I've earned. I've rewarded myself to receive it. Do you know most of us who have jobs in America, or jobs period, we don't ever truly pay ourselves first. By the time the check comes, it's already committed elsewhere. First of all, it's committed to your taxes or your tax situation, however you structured yourself for your job, right? Then it extends further. When you get it, you already know you're paying the light bill or the gas bill or the phone bill. You already know that you're paying rent. You already know that you're putting something aside for your child's prom dress or whatever the case is. It's always spoken for before we get it. But when I pay myself first, that's the portion that no one gets but you. And why is that necessary? Well, let's look at it from the vantage point of what happens when I get a paycheck. And out of that paycheck, I pay myself $33 every week or every 2 weeks. Well, that $33 I pay myself and I put it in a vehicle, or even if I don't get to the point of putting it in a vehicle, if I just keep it, pay myself first, keep it on an account, what happens? Well, that $33 this week will now become $66 next week because I'm stacking and stockpiling my money. So when I pay myself first, I'm tithing to me. When I pay myself first, I'm making sure that my temple can maintain itself. All right. So just think about that. $33 a week, man, that ain't no money, right? That ain't making me this, that, or the third. But if I pay myself week one, $33, and I pay myself week two, $33, and I pay myself week three, $33. Somebody type in the chat $33 times 52 weeks, and you'll see my point. What's $33 times 52 weeks? Someone dropped the answer in there. And we'll show you the power of paying ourselves first through this example. Thank you, Sister Gino. That's $1,716 that you would not have seen otherwise. But because you were willing to just pay yourself first, it makes all the sense in the world, doesn't it? Now, how do you make that $1,716 grow? Thank you, Brother Vincent. Thank you, Brother. Sister Gino. How do we make it grow? Okay. Simply put, you have to find now a way to park your money in a vehicle. Thank you, Pastor Pam. You want to park your money in a vehicle that will go out and make the money work for you. There's something that I share often on our different platforms, in conversations, even in live presentations. And the one thing I share often really sticks with me. More likely than not, if you have to have a job, it's because your money is unemployed. If we have to have a job, folks, chances are our money is unemployed. So it's designed to, there you go, Sister Felicia Vaughns. It's designed to put your money to work. Hey, Sister Aline, down there in Texas. It's designed to put our money to work. Let's look at this. It's not about we controlling the thing that gets the job done. It's a matter of I, the wealthy, the declared wealthy, it's about getting the job done. See yourself as the billionaire you are. Why did I choose billionaire? Why did I not, relegate it or dumb it down to millionaire? Because we are partnered with a multi-billionaire, and we need the mindset of the multi-billionaire to achieve what it is that we desire. Well, it's quite simple here. Billionaires, multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, millionaires, rich people, wealthy people all have the same mentality. vitality. The steps are the same. What is it that you control? Well, in terms of this opportunity, you control your money. When I say opportunity, I mean building wealth. You control your money. You control your investing habits. You control your jobs. You control your problems. You control preparation, and you control time. Or I should better say, these are the things we concern ourselves with. Okay? We concern ourselves with money. We concern ourselves with investing. We concern ourselves with jobs. We concern ourselves with risks. Okay? We concern ourselves with problems. We concern ourselves with preparation, and we concern ourselves with time. These things are instruments by which are governed by the same laws of focus. And when you're able to secure these essentials, well, how many did I write? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 elements by which, if you focus towards these elements that lead to your billionaire status, that leads to your wealth, what happens? When you focus on it, the energy required flows through it. It's a law. I love my wife. I focused on the top of that head when I first met her. Was no way in the world, and that was before she knew me. There was no way in the world I was not going to marry this woman. Focus. Focus, right? And the energy flowed right towards it. And thank God it was reciprocal. Thank God it was something that she saw that was worthy of glass. And you put a sheet of paper on the ground, and you took the magnifying glass and aligned it with the blaze of the sun, and the sun would go through the dimensions of that glass, and it would then hit that piece of paper. Or some of y'all might have did leaves, or some of you might have been, I don't know, masochists like myself, and we found a grasshopper or something growing up. But we would put that magnifying glass there, and we would use all the time required to keep that magnifying glass there and allow that sun to be captured in that glass. And on the other side of the capture, it gave intense focus and burned through the paper, burned through the leaf, or whatever it was that you had there. How many of you are familiar with that kind of experiment? Just type magnify. Type magnify if you're familiar. Well, that's how focus works. When you intensely focus on a thing, do you look to your left? No. Do you look to your right? No. Do you turn on the television? Do you turn on the radio and just have the music going all the time? No, you don't. Not if you're focused on a project that does, and where those things do not benefit it. But here we're talking about a whole nother arena. I want you to learn the focus. Great evening to you, Ambassador Ontario Smalls. I want you to understand what focus requires. Now, I'm going to share this with you. And I said it earlier, and I do say this often. You can plan all day long. You can write out your plans. You can even visualize how you see yourself approaching it. You can read up on your desire. You can hear podcasts, right? You can do audio books. You can do all those things. But guess what happens if you do not act? Nothing. Nothing will happen towards the goals, the visions, the dreams you have for yourself without taking action. You can plan, you can prepare. You know, I used to run with, when I say run, I mean I was associated with Brother Tupac Shakur. And he used to always talk about plan, plot, and strategize. He even put it in records, but he would always talk about plan, plotting, and strategizing in those moments I was blessed to be around him. And that was cool. I enjoyed the saying. But what it did give me an insight into was his work ethic. Plan, plot, strategize. Why did it give me insight to his work ethic? Because then he acted upon all that he planned for, plotted on, and strategized over. I was a witness to that, right? I've seen so many people in and out of my life's journey who have made great strides by organizing themselves to plot, plan, and strategize, organizing themselves to create what it is they were looking to do. Well, it doesn't happen without action, and the action required is that of focus. The law kicks in. Focus is a universal law no matter where you go. But in terms of the wealthy, there's a different approach. I'll give you an example. Billionaires, right? They think different. Millionaires think different. The rich and wealthy think different than the average person. I remember Dr. Tyrone Best always telling me, you want to accomplish anything that any of these steps you desire, look at what the world is doing and do the complete opposite. Why? Because conditioning, programming, and training does not allow you to elevate, doesn't allow you to go beyond or push the envelope. So when I say where your focus goes, your energy flows, anything you fight to get, you're going to have to fight to keep. Billionaires think so different about money. Billionaires look for ways to spend money. They do. What do? We look for it to buy stuff. You see the difference? You see the difference? We look for ways as the wealthy to spend money. But now it's not just the spending of the money. It's not wasting money on things. It's an expenditure that you're placing money in a vehicle that is designed to make that money make money for you. How do we approach wanting to make more money for me? How do we generally approach saving for that vacation or saving for that concert or saving for that home? Now, all those things are relative to people, and there's nothing wrong with any of those things. But how do we traditionally do it? Some of us used to go to banks and get Christmas club accounts, where we would put the money in and we couldn't touch it until Christmas. And then that money was available to us. Then we went on and secured our gifts. Or some of us had layaway plans that we were exposed to. Some of us had took on additional jobs during certain times of the year. I want to tell you this, and this is not to offend anyone, but 2 jobs require 2 people, and we're only 1 person. 2 jobs required 2 people. We're only 1 person. And some of us even trick ourselves into misreading the books of wealthy and strategists, and we'll say things like, well, I need an additional stream of income, so I picked up another job. That's not an additional stream. That's an additional liability. That's the embracing or the accumulating of greater debt. Now, I'm not knocking you, and I'm not saying this to say that I did not do those things. I did. I just had nothing to show for it at the end of the day. So what was the formula I used? I was in hospitality. Instead of having 1 job, I went and got 2. I went from one property to another property a couple of times in my life, in order to what I thought would bring me more income for the household. And it never happened. It never happened. You know, have any of you ever experienced working a couple of jobs and then finding frustration at home with your husband or your wife because you have nothing to show for all the time you spend out of the house and the money you were supposed to be making? You ever experienced that? Do you know that more than 90% No, strike. Let me take that back. More than 80% of failed marriages have been identified as to be rooted in money, never having enough money. And you would think with all these stats that are spewed out in society, you would think the solutions would come along with it, but generally they do not because they're gimmickly positioned. What do I mean by gimmickly positioned? You'll get news about a report like that, and then it allows the gimmick setters, the banksters, that's gangster with a B. It allows them to formulate a perceived strategy because you know nothing else. And they said, listen, do you know that your marriage could be stronger if you get this money market account or if you put your money here or what have you? Gimmicky. Here, we understand something about the power of money. Here, we understand that if money shows itself, presents itself in a way that you structured it, where you can share with your partner, husband, wife, significant other, what happens is you have a greater footing to rest on. Think about that. You'll purchase, unless purchase strike, you'll receive a paycheck this pay period today, and the paycheck this pay period today is the same amount that it was in the previous check. Have you ever noticed that the previous check went further than the current one? And that will happen, folks, with every single paycheck. So pay yourself first. Factor yourself in. The one thing about money, yeah, we look for ways, we look for ways to buy stuff, but we have to think differently about it. Okay, the whole mindset has to change. If not, we're going to find ourselves suffering the same disposition. When Mr. Dalco and Mr. Hines blessed us with their presence yesterday, we shared a thought. And I shared a thought that I read. It was a statement written by Mr. Scott Anderson, a billionaire. He said, well, he prefaced it with saying, we probably make $20,000 to $30,000 or more a year than we did 10 years ago. And that's safe to assume. You look at the demographics, you look at the age of money sort of changing and changing hands. You find a resets going on financially. You find greater salaries being doled out, or you find more people entering that particular discipline or field than they did 10 years prior. So, okay, that's understandable. He said in the writing, you'll probably make 20,000 to 30,000 more a year than you did 10 years ago. Then he asked the question, where is the money? What did you do with last year? What did you do with last year's $5,000 raise? A bigger TV, a boat, a car? He said, maybe you don't even know. Check this out. He said 10 years ago, at the end of the month, after paying all the bills, you had $37 left over. Today, 10 years later, when you are making nearly twice as much, you have $37 left over. Unless you change your thinking, 10 years from now, you'll still or will have $37 left over. If we always do what we've always done, we will always get what we've always got. So how does this work in the world of the wealthy? Oh yeah, many have jobs, right? But to the wealthy person, the job is there strictly to maintain your current living situation while giving you as much money to invest as possible, because it will be the investing that produces the wealth, not the job. Boy, it took me a long time to grasp that. You know, I'm in my 60s, right? I had those same needs when I was in my 50s, my 40s, my 30s, my 20s, folks. But I did not know how to make sense of money and its values. So, money. Billionaires look for ways to invest money. The common person looks for ways to spend money. When it comes to investing, billionaires realize investing is the key to abundance. Oh my God. Abundance, folks, can be equated with an attitude. And we might delve into that in class and session tomorrow, because I want you to understand that the world is of abundance. We in the world are the best of the Creator's creation. Why? Because we have what he has in terms of image and likeness, freedom of choice, freedom of will. There are options we can exercise that the rest of creation cannot do. But all that's in the rest of creation is abundant, and allows us to work with that abundance as long as we have the right attitude. Abundance is an attitude. It's an attitude of the heart. Abundance is an attitude of the heart. Okay, so you heard my point about investing. Billionaires realize investing is the key to abundance. All right. We, common folk, we invest just a little because we're afraid to lose a little bit. And then as it works to risks, billionaires know if they don't take risks, they have already failed. Many of us, we don't take risks because we might fail. Oh, you will surely fail not taking a risk, because you'll never know. That's why you hear all the conversations like, well, what if this doesn't work? Well, what if it does? See, the wealthy's mentality is already there. What if it does? And they also know, as it relates to time, they can't spend a lot of time with you because you delight their pool of abundance. All right? Risks, many of us say stay away from, because risks, we might fail. The billionaire, the wealthy say, no, if they don't take risks, they've already failed. Problems? Oh man, we smashed problems. We made a punk out of problems earlier today. And you can type in the chat here, punk your problem, P-U-N-K. Punk your problem. Go ahead, punk your problem. Billionaires see problems as opportunities to make millions. Billionaires see problems as opportunities to make millions, while many of us try to avoid problems. You got to make a punk out your problem. You got to understand problems to be just what they are, situations that you can overcome. Why? Because the God that created you is greater than the problem you face. The God that created you is greater than the situation you're experiencing. The God that created you also created the situations to walk into your life. Punk your problems. How do you punk your problems? Write them on a piece of paper. And then put that paper down and look down at it. It doesn't change in size, does it? Whatever you wrote it on, that's where it is. You can see it. You can see the paper that it's on. You can see everything around the paper. You are bigger than the problem. And when we mind hack that, we can move further. I know much of my family gets a little twisted with me. I didn't know I was developing this, but now I know why. If someone was to say in the family, hey, remember, you have this payment, okay? Are you going to make this payment? Sure. How are you going to make the payment? I'll take care of it. Now, the how is very important to your significant others because you're a team, right? But my answers to a lot of things used to tear my siblings, my parents up. They couldn't understand. Eric, how are you going to do so-and-so? I'll take care of it. How did I know I would take care of it? Because it's about an attitude that you build, and that building of that attitude wills the abundance to you. But not without action. It's just not going to fall out the sky, you fake lottery playing seekers. Let me stop. You're not even fake at it. You're doing that. Okay, look. All right, so problems. I beat that drum, right? Preparation. Check this out. Billionaires, the wealthy, regarding preparations, We prepare today for the opportunities of tomorrow. Many of you prepare for just today. You live for the moment. I'm not asking you to answer this. Just keep it to yourselves if you're not really there yet. But it's something that everyone goes through. Oh, let me put it this way, and you can respond. How many of you ever heard save for a rainy day? Or I'm saving for a rainy day? Or you've been encouraged to save for a rainy day? You've heard that before, huh? Yeah. Okay. Now, if you save for a rainy day, what will you always have? Rain. You'll always have rain. Saving for a rainy day only produces rain and only produces the gloom that comes with it. Only increases the darkness and cold that's associated with it. Rain, when you save for it, you're putting your energy towards it, and as a result, you'll get it. But will it build your wealth? You see? So you want to position yourselves to not save for a rainy day. Remove that slavery idea. Save for an opportunity. Why? Because that's what a problem is. Save for the opportunity. How do we mean that? Oh man, this part's going to be good, and then we're going to go home. Okay. An entrepreneur, a business person, these are those who solve problems. That's what all businesses are, problem solvers. I used to use this example a lot. Now that I've gotten away a little bit from my overindulgence of ice cream. Crazy about ice cream. Okay. And in that overindulgence, if I wanted some ice cream, like a craving, and I craved ice cream at one point, like I might have been pregnant or something. But I would go to the store and look for the ice cream and that particular ice cream of choice and brand. If the store didn't have it, was that my problem? Still, yes, it was. And for that store, it was a missed opportunity to solve what? My problem. So if I go to another store and I find the ice cream brand that I want and I find the flavor I want, does that store become the problem solver? Yes. And I will give over my money and I will get my product and I will go about my business a happy customer. The bigger the problem, the greater the opportunity. And when you're in front of the right vehicle, what happens? When you are the problem solver of the greater situation, that means your opportunity is available to all. In our world of wealth building, as the wealthy, but particularly speaking now of the partner that we are in GS Partners, we park our money in vehicles and the money goes out and comes back with a reward. And the reward is greater than any financial institution traditionally that we've been known to use. So the more of this product we have, the more rewards we receive. But get this, when you have a referral link, which is only $33, paying yourself first, right? We talk about $33 as an example. $33, a low barrier of entry to get a referral link for a product that will reward you not only with assets, by the way, is that what puts money in your pocket. So you'll get more and more assets at this rate by securing certificates in your own account. And then if you utilize the referral link that you receive with your 33 USDT membership, that referral link you can share with others and just say, look, I'm making more money here at Millionaire Rates of Reward because I park my money in a vehicle that will give it to me. It pays me first and foremost. And then you share that link with people. They go to the realmoney.info. They look at it. They say, wow. Okay, I'm in. And what happens when they come in? You get a direct commission from the company on their financial activity. See, GS Partners is so fire, folks. It rewards you for helping others help themselves. So if you find yourself being that kind of servant leader, you can absolutely wax rich. You can absolutely wax wealthy. It's just a matter of how fast and or how slow. Because the one thing you won't do is not earn. You will absolutely earn. I'm gonna run through these last remaining key points that I wrote about the billionaires and us, or the wealthy and them. Okay. Money, we look for ways to spend money. Billionaires look for ways to invest money. Investing, we invest just a little. Billionaires realize investing is the key to abundance. Jobs, we think a better job will make us wealthy. Billionaires know that a job will never make them wealthy. Investments will. Risks, we stay away from risks because we might fail. Billionaires know that if they don't take risks, they've already failed. Okay, now let's move into problems once again. Problems. We stay away from the we try to avoid problems. Billionaires see problems as opportunities to make millions. Okay, preparation. These are the last two. Preparation. We prepare today for today, where billionaires prepare today for the opportunities of tomorrow. What does your future look like? Where do you look to see yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you want to be remembered? What is a legacy? It makes no difference if you're not trying to build wealth, but I guarantee you I'm rich because legacies are required where I am. Now, time. Time, we waste time. Billionaires see time as their most valuable asset. I don't waste a lot of time with people who aren't into taking risks. I don't waste a lot of time with people who aren't into creating solutions. I don't waste a lot of time. However, I do communicate with all these types of folk, and this is how I know where they are so I can approach them with the right solution to the opportunity. Don't save for rain, save for the opportunity. Y'all got it? I hope so. Man, I enjoyed this podcast today. Where are we going to be on the 11th of November? I'm going to stop that ticker from moving because I want you to take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, folks. We will be at the Hyatt House in Tampa Airport in West Shore in the gathering room of the Hyatt House. That's 5308 Avion Park Drive, Tampa, Florida. I know Mr. Ontario Smalls and others, they have folks in Tampa area. Who do you know in Tampa that will come out? Who you can invite, rather, to come out and hear this magnificent opportunity in the Blockchain Summit. We're going to be there in Tampa on the 11th of November. Sponsored by those golden billionaires, spearheaded by Dr. Elaine Lee. I will be there. My wife, Falami, will be there. We're going to have products and presentation, folks, and we're going to have training to show you the simplicity of this opportunity, to keep it simple. Remember this, simplicity creates duplication, and duplication creates wealth. Okay? And then I want you to look at the training days we do. See, we, as Team Believe, we have weekly training days. They're 3 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9:15 a.m. on the Believers Huddle. And the Believers Huddle runs 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We just dedicate 3 particular days where myself or our master trainers, who many of you might be familiar with in the world of wealth builders, share. Oh, you remember when I said pay yourself first? Well, there's another aspect of it. The other element is save more than you spend. We'll elaborate a little bit on that tomorrow. But Team Believe's weekly training days, you want to make yourself available to it. It's free. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Okay, it happens on the Zoom ID, or you can go to teambelieve.info. And we are 5 days a week there at 9:15 a.m. Eastern. We dedicate 3 days in the week to training, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays on that huddle. Everyone is welcome. And then I want to bring your attention to this. This is big. This is one way to absolutely pay yourself first. Nearly a dozen folks have already registered for a training that we have yet to really promote. But pulling it all together, GS Partners, GS Trade, the Lydian World, G999, and the Lydian Stater will be trained into your activity, we're providing you an educational portfolio to go along with the asset-based, the asset accumulation opportunity that you have. You're going to receive training from the crypto nurse, Mrs. Jocelyn Burrell, master trainer, Ms. Nicole Nikki Knox, and Mr. Mike, the Numbers Gentleman Johnson. Training session, online training session, crypto in, crypto out. This is Sunday, November 26, 2023, after we return from Cape Town, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. The cost is in crypto, 150 USDT Tether. That's the ERC20 token that's accepted. Visit www.bestwealthevents.online to register and pay. Or you can scan the QR code there on the right. It will take you to the same platform. You register by email. Once we receive the registration with the tenants that are required, you will then receive a QR code and a deposit address from us, and you can make your payment then. Shout out to Mr. Randy Love, who secured 4 of the admissions. Shout out to Brother Roland Roberts, who secured at least 3, I believe, and he's looking to do a few more. Folks, produce and allow your production to be recognized. People are looking out for you because they see what you do for them and what you do for the community. So nearly a dozen of these admissions have already been secured for people. Some were entered into giveaways as of yesterday. Others were gifted from their sponsor for the work and the faith and the commitment they have to you building your opportunity. So hopefully you have a screenshot. Go visit the page. If you have questions there, you can submit your questions at the page. I want to take time now to thank you for your time, for your attention, joining us on this podcast. I'm Rich, the podcast with your brother Eric Ture Muhammad. See you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, as we are here every day, Monday through Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Forward.